Finger food is what I'm talking about today. And when I say finger food, we're talking sliders, the best finger food out there. So today on Sonia's Sweet and Spicy Kitchen, I'm going to show you my recipe for spicy turkey and cheese melty goodness with my slider recipe. So let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sonia's Sweet and Spicy Kitchen. My name is Sonia Paz and I'm your spice master here. Hey, like I mentioned, I'm going to show you my turkey and Swiss cheese spicy sliders. That is one of my favorites for bringing to gatherings. So I got girls game night again tonight and I have prepared all of this to show you how I make something super easy and something that is going to be empty by the time that game night's over, because this is one of the most popular recipes that I got going on for these type of events. Or if you're like me and you want to do something easy and quick for the family, make sliders for dinner. It's always a winning combination. So before we get started, go down below and click the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you can get notified of when I have new and exciting recipes. So let's get this thing going. We've got turkey, we've got cheese, we've got Sonia's Sweet and Spicy. This is a two-part recipe. We're gonna put together all of the fixings for the interior of all of our sliders. We're gonna get that all ready and then we're gonna actually add the topping in after. So we're gonna do part one first. And what I've gone ahead and done here is I've gone ahead and I have cut my little Hawaiian bread sliders and into just separated those from the tray and have pre-treated my casserole dish with just a non-stick spray and put everything all in there so that when we start adding all of the toppings and the fillings for this, it's all ready to go. Now, what we have mayonnaise and we have Dijon honey mustard. I like to use honey mustard because we are going to be adding a little bit of Sonia's Sweet and Spicy into the condiment portion of the slider, and that just gives it that extra boost. I've got Parmesan cheese, I've got butter, I've got Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, well, it's down below in the comments, trust me, you know what I'm talking about. Worcestershire sauce. And we've got some dill, and that's going to be the second part of when we put this on the topping and we get this going on for the baking process. I'm going to go ahead and get my mixing bowl, push all this stuff out of the way, and start building these little sliders. So what we're going to use for the first part of this is my Dijon mustard, my Sonia's Sweet and Spicy jalapenos that I have diced up super, super fine, and my mayonnaise. So I'm going to go ahead and just start adding this all into the bowl. Super fast, super easy. I use a small spatula. I like my small spatula because it gets everything on there a lot better and a lot more even if you use than a spreader or a knife. So got my Dijon mustard and I've got my Sonia's Sweet and Spicy. You can always add a little bit of ground pepper to this if you like. Of course, I always like to say that you can do that to taste. It only takes a few seconds to just kind of get this going and you've got a beautiful sauce. Now, I like to do all of the condiments first, and I will actually take this, add a little bit of this on here. I'm going to put it back on the top so that you end up with a little bit more at the bottom. Spread this up, put this down. Spread this up, put this down. I'm going to continue to do this until they are all done, and then we're going to add our turkey and cheese to this mix. So let me do this really fast and we'll be right back. So that was fast and easy. I'm going to go ahead and add in my turkey and my cheese. And I've kind of figured this, you can add more or less turkey and cheese. I figured this is going to be probably a couple cheeses and a couple turkeys. It depends on how thick your turkey and cheese slices are. And I always put the cheese on the top because we want it to melt down. So I'm going to basically pick these up and just pop them down. And this is something so easy. You can get sliced cheese over at any deli counter and just cut it up and it's all good. You can use baby Swiss, you can use you know, if you wanted to use provolone instead of this, or, you know, mix it up and do cheddar or add different cheeses to this, that is something that is, you know, personal preference, and there is no rule, so it's all good. Okay, so what we got? We got about 15 sliders here that are jam-packed in this casserole, and it's gonna be extreme melty goodness. And like I said, you can add different kinds of cheese, you can add more cheese, you can add more, you can mix up and ham and cheese. The possibilities are endless. Get creative. Let me know in the comments below how you've dressed up your sliders, and would love to hear about that. So this part is done. We're not quite finished because we are going to be adding our butter, Parmesan, and our Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna melt the butter, and we're gonna get a little sauce going, because we're gonna brush the top of these on before we get these in the oven. Alrighty, so I've got my melted butter here, and this is, smells so good. I used salted butter. You can use unsalted and just add spices to it, whatever you want. It's no preference. But I'm gonna go ahead and add my Parmesan cheese. Gonna mix that in just like this. It's gonna make a nice little, we're gonna spread this on the top of each of the buns, on the rolls. Add my Worcestershire sauce and mix that in. And I'm gonna wait on the dill because we are going to be adding that. We're gonna sprinkle that on after we get this going. So I mix that just with a fork. If you have a little whisk, you can do that too. So put that there. And I've got my, my basting brush here, and I'm going to slather, and I'm talking slathering, probably should hold this over that. I'm going to slather the top of these with this butter Parmesan mixture. Love this combination because it's going to give it, add a little bit more cheese, and the butter is going to bake into the rolls, and it's just, oh, it's going to have some super buttery yum goodness. We're not adding any type of produce to these sliders. This is not a slider that you're gonna add any sort of tomato on. I'll do a recipe on a vegetarian version of this in the near future. So, and I did make a little extra of my sauce here, my buttery coating, because I'm actually making 2 trays, but I'm showing you how we're making one. I will note all of the directions and all of the ingredients down below in the comments. So we'll set this here. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to take my dill, and you can use poppy seeds, or you can even use sesame seeds if you wanted, but I like to just give this some color. And dill is just, it's very, it gives a little bit of a nice little herby flavor, but it's not overbearing. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of this just right over. And let's see here. It's gonna, when it bakes and it gets out of the oven, it's gonna be so yummy. I've gone ahead and set my oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna cover this with a foil for about 15 minutes until everything is melty. And then I'm gonna take the foil off and continue to bake it for probably another 7 to 8 minutes, so that you get a little bit of toastiness on the top. So we'll get it in the oven. I'll show you what's going on. Well, here you go, a beautiful, amazing slider recipe that's sweet and spicy, it's tangy, it's amazing, and it's gooey and chewy. And we're gonna prove that because I'm gonna show you how good this is. So I'm gonna just dish one out here. They're hot, 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 hot. Just gonna put one on a bowl here. It's a little warm, cheesy. Oh, so good. The perfect size. Got all that beautiful Parmesan and dill on the top with the melted butter, and we've got super yummy, amazing, cheesy goodness with these little sliders. So good. My favorite. It's ooey and gooey. It's so great with the cheese, the butter. The Sonya sweet and spicy. My mother always taught me not to talk with my mouth full. But I can't help it today, because this is so good. Amazing, quick, it's super easy. Few ingredients. The magic happens in the baking process. And like I mentioned, I bake this at 350 for about 15 minutes. And then about halfway through, I took the foil off when everything's all melty, and that gets everything on the top roasty and toasty. And of course, you know, here at Sonya's Sweet and Spicy Kitchen, we're always chopping and slicing, dicing and cooking, roasting and toasting. Don't forget, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Sonya Sweet Spicy. Visit us online. You can get some of my amazing products, and we got new products coming up, so be on the lookout for those. SonyaSweetSpicy.com. I've got to get going, but I wanted to show and share with you my awesome recipe for these amazing, amazing, melty, cheesy, spicy sliders that are guaranteed that you're gonna come home with an empty dish. So let that happen to you. That's it for today, everyone. Have a great rest of the week, and we will talk with you soon. Bye. Look at that. So cheesy. So cheesy. Bye.